This debate was one of the most funniest but also most insightful thing that I've watched probably this entire year. And before we even get into it, clearly I am black and I don't hate myself. I'm not a self-hating black person, but I can definitely understand why there's a growing amount of people out there who are sick and tired of black people, do not like black people, and don't even want to live near black people. I get it. Black fatigue is real. And I'm gay. I don't hate myself for being gay and I don't make it my whole identity, but I can also see why people are sick and tired of the gays. The trans shit, the drag queens in schools, the LGBTQ books, all of it. The the gay fatigue, it's real. And hell, I'm not even Jewish, but the way I've been treated, the reactions we've seen, the war, the hundreds and millions of dollars we're sending over to them, all while America crumbles. Listen. It is clear that people are sick and tired of the Jews, and there's a Jewish fatigue growing. And these illegal immigrants, free health care, free debit card, free hotel and lodging, all while we got homeless people on the streets, potholes on every corner, all my tax money going to where? Listen, people have grown to be sick and tired of everything that's going on in the United States right now. They have. I can sit here and genuinely understand why so many people are sick and tired of just everything. I am able to remove myself and my ego from the situation or whatever I'm watching and just peep something and say, you know what? They keeping it 100. They are being real right now. I am able to listen to an entire conversation and mentally pick out, okay, that was real. That's a real opinion. This was a meme. This was a rhetorical response. He's joking right here. We can see clear as day what's happening throughout a conversation. We can see when something requires more context. Like, personally, I get it. And truth be told, I am too grown and I have been through too much shit in my life to sit here and allow someone agency over my own mental health. I didn't go through all the things I've gone through in my past just to sit here and be upset or be triggered because Nick Fuentes said something mean when half the time, yeah, it may have been mean, but was it wrong? Was it wrong? So when it comes to Nick Fuentes, it is clear as day why he is growing in popularity, why people like him. I mean, to me, it doesn't take rocket science to figure it out. I see it. I understand it. It's right there. And as many people there are gravitating his way, not all of it is for good. People are trying to dox the man, harm the man, and it doesn't even stop at Nick. It's me and even you. Thankfully, though, if you want to prevent yourself from being doxxed, you can take a look at today's sponsor, Aura. It is genuinely concerning how much of our private information is just out there on the internet, ready to be bought and sold or just looked up instantly. And not even just that, but the people getting doxxed, the nonstop spam phone calls or the emails for things you didn't even sign up for, it's a bit much. And the problem that makes this even bigger is that all these data companies out there are scalping the internet, finding any information they can about you and selling it off for profit, which again is beyond just creepy that everything's just out there willy-nilly. However, with Aura, this all comes to an end. It's a service that protects all of your information online and does a lot of work with a lot of different apps all in one. They do the reaching out to data brokers to get your information taken down because by law they have to, but they make it incredibly hard for you to request that. So I would just let Aura handle that for you. But the spam call protection, identity theft protection, financial fraud protection, it's a VPN, it's a password manager. It literally does so much all under one app that is nationally recognized and respected. It's digital protection for everything that matters, not just in my life, but your life too. And given that our lives are online, I'm more than thankful that Aura has my back and the countless of y'all out there as well. It's easy to use, it's sleek, and it's the one-stop shop that I know a lot of people are out there looking for. Because truth be told, there's an app literally for everything out there, so having this all in one simplifies it for a lot of people. So the choice is yours. You can continue to go throughout this video and go through life and just have your information out there being bought and sold willy-nilly and just exploited out there. Or you can scan the QR code here on the screen, which will take you to aura.com/Amir, aura.com/Amir, or by tapping the link below to start your 2-week free trial.
Look, my views about Black people and their views about Black people are shaped with experiences with Black people. And what they will tell you, what my parents would say if they were here, is that for many, many years, the older generations of Black people were very respectful, very humble, very decent.
Valid. And for the record, me and Nick come from the same area. We're both from the Chicago area. And he is right in that the older generation of Blacks, it was nice. You think about, well, listen, I'm talking about the TV show, not the personality, not the person himself, but we talk about the Bill Cosby show, Family Matters. There were all these Black TV shows and sitcoms that had a Black family. There was structure, there was drama, But like, it was just normal TV sitcoms. And you think about now, Real Housewives of Atlanta, we got Zeus Network, we got Baddies, we got all this like just ratchet TV and music. We don't have the Ozzy Brothers anymore, Whitney Houston's. Like, it's all just decrepit, like just ill of a culture. It is. And he's right in his assessment that the older blacks out there, they had some decorum, they had some self-respect.
These teenagers go out and they take over the city. They call them teen takeovers. That's the euphemism for it. They're teenagers, but they all come from the same neighborhood. They drive up there and they mug people and attack people and they destroy cars and destroy shops.
We've seen it all. They are literally destroying the city. And it doesn't stop at the city. They're going into suburbs. They've gone into water parks, theme parks, cruise ships, restaurants. When you look at these groups doing it, you maybe see one or two white people, but in large part, if you're looking at that entire group, it's blacks. We have to let go of this emotion and this tie to be offended by something and just call something out for what it is. It's not right. It is young black youth terrorizing a lot of this country.
It's supposed to be a family event. And they light up the trees and they, there's a big parade. I was in the parade one year and you had a bunch of black people there shooting each other. 7 people shot, a 14-year-old killed in the Magnificent Mile. And I know there's a lot of black people that feel the same way about this. They say, we've lost control of the city and we're looking for accountability. We have a lot of black people that are always outraged about racism, outraged about attitudes from white people, but they're never ashamed of some of these behaviors, never ashamed of some of the things that go on.
And that's what's frustrating to me. It pisses me off. Like, for example, people trying to relate me to George Floyd just because I'm black or we're all black. Like, that could have been us. No, it couldn't have. Don't relate me to George just because we both have melanated skin. I'm not on fentanyl. I'm not pointing guns at pregnant women's bellies. I'm not screaming I can't breathe when no one's touching me. Don't relate me to these people just because we're brown. Well, at the same time, going marching in the street causing $2 billion worth of damage, talking about Black Lives Matter when we don't even act like our own lives matter. Frustrating. I'm tired of this narrative that black people have it so down and bad in this country, in the United States of America, and we don't. I am my ancestors' dream. If you're a black person watching this right now, you are your ancestors' dream. There's nothing, like everything that this entire existence right now here in America, they could barely even fathom. Every generation for blacks in America has gotten better and better and better. And right now, it's at a mix between like, it's better in the sense that I have all the rights and I can do whatever I want as the same as little Tim Tam down the street. Yeah, that's cool. But as far as how I'm looked into society, how people are looking at me, the prejudices people have and how we're acting, that's unfortunate. That's what's sad, and that's what needs the most work.
And that's why I think there's a lot of negative attitudes these days. And so, again, I think those attitudes, you say I'm a product of my environment. I am. And so are my parents and my grandparents. Unlike you, because you're not even American, in Chicago, we have to live in a big, diverse city where there's a lot of different kinds of people. And I think anybody in Chicago will tell you the same.
I live in London. It's one of the biggest and most diverse cities in the world.
But it's not the same.
Well, actually, it's a big, diverse city. The only difference is we don't have the gun violence because we don't have guns. That's a whole different story. I don't want to get into that with you. I have got into that before in America.
You got a knife problem. You got sword problems.
We have problems with
Aladdin.
We have problems with violent crime.
We have Aladdin, damn sure. Y'all ain't got guns, but y'all out here shiving and diving every 2 seconds. You can't, like, the bad people exist. People tell me we need more gun laws. What criminal follows a law? Now, I'm all for more screenings to get a gun. Like, it's easier to get a gun than a driver's license. Like, I'm down for a little wiggle room, but come on. It is the illegal people. It is people who are breaking the law who are shooting things and causing problems.
When you say you just want to be away from any black people, walk away from them.
Well, you know what Ye told me? I'll tell you verbatim what he said. He said, so you use the N-word. I said, yeah. He goes, well, when niggas are being niggas. I said, so true. That's so true.
Are we going to act like that's not true? If you are a follower of mine, you've been subscribed to this channel, you know who Jamal is. If you're new here, you're confused. Jamal's my alter ego. There's Amir, and then there's Jamal. I literally have a sign back here. One of you guys painted for me. It says, I'm about to go Jamal. This whole video is about to be Jamal because I'm already just raging. Jamal's like an angry black man. It's literally a joke that Jamal's a nigga. Like, I get it. There's a difference between like a regular black person and a nigga. And anybody can be a nigga, truly, but most niggas are black. But yeah, it's a running meme on this black ass channel that the Jamal comes out, the inner nigga in me, and just rages, goes Super Saiyan mode, just scorch earth on everybody. We keep it in 100 here, you guys. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. Like, yay, niggas gonna be niggas. Boondocks, having a nigga moment. That's what Jamal is when he's having the inner nigga in me just comes out and it just uncouth behavior, just rages.
Like they're in complete agreement with me.
What does that mean?
It means that even black people know how black people can behave. Even black people understand it.
We understand it. I understand it. You understand it on this channel. Let's just be so for real right now. There's a difference between like a regular black person and a nigga. I think it was Chris Rock that made that whole like comedy skit about it too.
And there's two sides. It's black people and there's niggas. And niggas have got to go.
I'm unfazed. I'm completely unfazed. And for anybody that's upset that, oh, Nick says the N-word, I don't like when white people say the N-word, miss me with it. We done lost agency over that word to me, really, since that one song, my nigga, mama. That song, it just changed the word to friend. For a lot of people, like in past, like niggas just friend, but also niggas like, it's context, it's nuance. Like you can say the B word in like 20 different instances and each one means a different thing, like B, dang B. Like you can say the B word in a ton of different instances and they all work depending on how you're using it. Same thing can be applied to the N word. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm too damn grown to allow someone agency over my mental health. What I look like getting mad and offended because someone said a word? Are you that weak? Are you that emotional to allow yourself to be up in arms? I can't believe you said that. You said the N-word. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people out there right now that care more about being called the N-word than their own life. You getting more offended by someone, this man right here, this white ass man in Chicago, Nick Fuentes saying nigga. You more offended at that than offended at your damn bank account. Offended at your missing bills. Offended at your rent or your living situation, offended at your job, offended at missing goals, offended at being unhappy at life. Y'all more upset at this white ass man with this smirk in front of my face than the man standing in front of the mirror, and that is the main problem with a lot of y'all out there. You don't give two shits about your own life. You don't. You're looking for every instance, every ounce you can to be a victim. And it drives me up a wall. It does. You don't have to live this way. You don't. We are afforded every single right that Nick is afforded to right now in this country. As a black person in America, you can achieve and be anything you put your mind to. And not even just black, but anybody in America. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can be whatever you want to be. You just have to work hard. This victimhood mindset of yours gotta go. There's going to be people always who have it better than you. There's going to be people out there who always have a higher, like I guess, head start. Like Beyonce's black ass kids. LeBron James' kids. Barack Obama's kids. And no matter what, truly, they've got their own problems they're dealing with too. But as long as you focus on you and only you do what you got to do to take care of your business and achieve your goals and dreams, you can and you will. But you're only going to do that if you just stop letting all these outside forces have such a huge impact on your life. Letting a white person saying the N-word have so much agency over your own life for what? It's embarrassing. It's quite literally embarrassing. And I feel bad for you. It's embarrassing to be that triggered, that offended at the drop of a dime over nothing.
Who do you think commits the vast majority of the mass shootings?
I'm sure it's white people.
Right. So how do you feel about that?
I think that white people do more antisocial violence. I think black people participate in more gang violence. I think that's the difference.
What's the difference to the victims?
There's no difference to the victim, but it's a different kind of crime. And it's a different proportion also. Do you know what percentage of white people are school shooters?
I know that the vast majority of mass shootings in schools in America this century were perpetrated by young white men.
This whole video, y'all just gonna get me just unfiltered. I'm just gonna be popping off. I have a lot of patience, I do, but Piers frustrates me, and like the amount of hate Nick gets sometimes frustrates me because a lot of things that he's saying is just facts. And it's so much fact that it frustrates me that it's not just seen as like common sense. Yes, obviously, most school shootings are white people. What average day shootings that happens every single weekend across this damn country are from blacks? Majority of them. I've spoken about school shootings before and they are sad. Like, what does it matter to the victims? It's all sad. It's all sad. However, it does frustrate me a little bit. Come on, listen. I'ma just say it. And if you're listening with context and nuance, like, you'll get it. It does frustrate me when people, like, a school shooting happens and everyone's like, oh my gosh, a school shooting, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. As if a school shooting isn't happening every single weekend in every single major city in every single black community. Oh my gosh, there was a school shooting and 10 kids were shot. Girl, 30 kids were shot in Chicago. But because of little white Tim Tam that got shot and y'all relate to it because it's in elementary school, you're more affected by it. It's more of like, oh, that could have been my kid. But there's never that much concern for all the kids in the city. And when I sit here and call it out, I'm calling Uncle Tom. I'm bringing up black on black violence. I'm deflecting. I'm being so real. You just said, oh my gosh, this school shooting, 10 kids were dead. What about all the kids dying in the hoods? About the 30s and 40s every weekend. Where's your energy there? Are you keeping that same energy? I'm sure you're not.
Men. And I'm
what proportion?
I'm curious. What proportion? I'm curious whether your advice would be to people who have kids in these schools.
Is my mic working? What proportion?
Should they avoid white people at school? Should people with the kids at school avoid young white men?
People see clear as day what's happening right now. Like, he's trying to, like Piers Morgan is sitting here trying to say, well, since most school shootings are from white people, that means you should be fearful of white people. No, per cap, like what percentage of the white people are actually doing that compared to what percentage of black people are actually committing crimes?
At school?
No.
Okay.
Do you know what per capita means? Do you know proportionality? There are more black people proportionally that engage in violent crime or are involved in gangs, especially in these major cities, than there are white people that are school shooters compared to the entire white population. And everybody understands that.
Two-thirds of mass shootings at school perpetrated by white people.
But what proportion of white men commit school shootings? That's the question.
I've just told you. It's 60-65% of school shootings by white people.
You're telling me what proportion of school shootings.
He's not answering the question. The proportion is what matters. When we're looking at this big-ass white water bottle, is this in frame? Hold on. Let me make sure. Okay. You got this big-ass white water bottle. Say there's all the white folk here in America, and you got this much white folk doing school shootings. And then say you got this little much of black people, and then this much shooting people. Obviously, I'm more concerned with this right here. Duh. Piers.
School shootings are committed by white people. I'm saying what proportion of white people have committed school shootings. Are you playing dumb or are you just not that smart?
What difference does that make to the children lying dead on the ground?
See, now you want to jump on the victims. The difference is you're asking, would you fear white people or black people? And that's the difference. The difference is in terms
what I'm saying to you is, by your logic, if we now have agreed that the vast majority of mass shootings in schools are committed by white people and predominantly young white men, then presumably your advice would be to avoid young white men.
No.
Because they perpetrate these massacres. But it won't be.
How does... I get it. Do y'all get it? Do y'all see what's happening right now? He's missing the whole conversation about, like, the per capita conversation, like the percentage of the total group doing something bad. You can't sit here clear as day and say, yeah, you should be more concerned with the white kids that shoot schools than the everyday black person just shooting just because. When you compare the total whites in this country to that little sliver that be acting buck compared to this, we're a minority. There's a little minority of black people, and the big chunk responsible for stuff in this big ass country, it's clear as day why people look at me a certain way. I don't even blame them. It sucks. When someone throws prejudice my way, or they throw me a little racism my way, do I blame them? Sucks. But do I blame them? Not too much.
Because they're white, right?
So are you playing dumb or are you actually dumb?
Maybe
it's
I'm
about
dumb.
proportionality.
Maybe I'm dumb.
You are because well, I don't think you are dumb. I think you're smart actually, but you're deliberately avoiding per capita. And everybody knows that's the difference. What proportion of white men are school shooters? It's probably 0.00001%. What proportion of black men have committed violent crimes? It's probably like 5%. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's very high.
Even like, not even off the top of off the top of my head. For the sake of this conversation, I don't have the exact number right now. We're going through this. I'm seeing this for the first time. We know blacks make up 13% of the population. Cool. We know half of that's men, 6%. We know about ages 16 to 30 is about 2 to 3% of that 6%, right? So then we get that 2 to 3%. Okay, so then pause on that. We get that 2 to 3% right there of black males in this country ages 16 to 30, including me. I'm in that chunk. Of that chunk, people in that age group, like I am in that group, knowing that little chunk commits damn near 50% of all the murders and robberies in this country. Again, we got that little chunk, that 2-3%, ages 16 to 30, accounting for damn near 50% of all the murders and robberies in this country. It comes to no surprise that someone judges me. I can remove my ego. I can remove my feelings and just look at it for what it is and say, damn, yup, what you want me to do? Other than sit here and make YouTube videos trying to wake more people up to what's going on in our country and wake more black people up to act right. What do you want me to do when I'm presented with that data? Call it racist? No. It is what it is. I understand it.
And I would add to that, even as it concerns schools, why do you think parents pay a super high property tax to live in a school district where there's white people? Because they know that if they go to the black school, it's going to be the Bloods and the Crips. It's going to be gangs. It's going to be, you talk about school shootings. Nobody talks about all the school shootings that are committed by gangbangers in and around the school.
Thank you. Thank you. No one talks about that. That's what I was getting to in the beginning of this clip. With all due respect to little Tim Tams that's losing their life. Listen, it's sad, but it's weird too, where the attention's focused and no one keeping that same energy. You screaming up in arms, these school shootings are getting out of control in America. Oh my gosh, ban the guns. 10 kids were shot. Look up the crime reports for your inner cities, 30 minutes away out of your suburb. What are we doing? In 1 month, kids, teenagers, shooting and being shot more than the school shootings for the entire year. No one talks about around the school. No one talks about the gang shootings. I don't agree with 100% of anybody on this planet. And I don't agree with 100% of what this man be saying. But a lot of the things that's been coming out of this man's mouth, what you want me to do about it? Because it's spitting facts.
And all the other violence that's associated with that. I mean, these schools in the south side of Chicago, it's just not livable.
I have an answer for you, Nick. So the proportion of the population who carry out mass shootings is actually the same for black and white.
For white people, the proportion of...
The proportion
again,
of the population.
Are you hearing it? No.
See, I think the trouble with your statistics is a lot of them don't bear much scrutiny. We have a bunch of fact checkers checking all this in real time because you do have a tendency to just come out with a lot of old baloney. And when you say,
okay,
well, it's true. And when you're confronted with reality, you don't like it.
What's the figure? What proportion of white people have committed school shootings? With white people as the denominator and white people that have committed school shootings as the numerator, what's that percentage?
For both black and whites, the proportion of the population who carry out mass shootings generally is about the same.
No. Tell me the number, and then
the only focus of your attention is the black shootings, the black crime. You don't want to live around black people. You want to avoid black people. You don't want interracial marriages or relationships that may produce black people.
This is so like just, there's a lot of black people that I know that are black that don't even want to live near black people. There's memes about it.
Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party? Huh? Someone get this jigaboo away.
We literally flee to the suburbs and the all-white communities because it's safer and it's better and it's quieter. But then all of a sudden you got a fucking Dodge Charger, them damn slingshots and Polaris slingshots flying up and down the streets, dirt bikes up and down the streets. From who? And then he brought up Nick not wanting interracial babies. That's another conversation. I'm not too offended by it because I think it's fine if you want your grandbabies to look like you. Listen, I mean, I'm in an interracial relationship. That's fine. I'm cool with mixed people. That's fine. But I also think it's fine for someone to like, yeah, I want like white kids. I want them to look like me. I think people just like get offended by anything every day nowadays.
Out to you that there are many parts of crime in America where actually there's a majority of white people that perpetrate them. You don't care. You don't have any interest in that. It doesn't exercise your mind. Maybe because
no one's buying this. This
kids.
Argument lost. No one is buying this. Everybody understands per capita, and people can even see what you race ahead and say, well, we're comparing the proportion of white and black school shooters. I said, no, compare the proportion of school shooters that are white versus violent criminals that are black.
This low-key reminds me of the Stop Asian Hate. You remember after 2020 and it was like Asian Lives Matter and the Stop Asian Hate? That got swept under the rug real quick, because why? Who was causing the hate?
Black, because that was the basis of the monologue, is that you're very likely, if you encounter black people or a young black man in the city, that you're going to be the victim of a violent crime, of a robbery, a mugging, a car theft, a carjacking, or a murder. That's the difference, and it's about proportionality. And everybody sees past that because we all live in reality. You want to talk about product of your environment. People that live in New York, Chicago, LA, we live in reality. We live in this environment and we see what it's like. And the threat, the danger in terms of probability it's not even comparable.
It's not even the same. Again, it sucks being judged that way. I get it. If it's 2 a.m., I'm walking down the streets of New York and it's a lovely white couple and they cross the street because they're about to walk past me, I'm gonna be a little salty, but I understand it. I get it. Because guess who's doing the same thing? I'm taking my happy ass off across the street. Best believe I'm fleeing. I see a group of YNs. Baby, you can leave me alone. I don't want no business. I don't want nothing. I don't want to do it. I don't want to cross a group of YNs. Leave me alone.
If you're in a high school and truly, if you see a white person who looks like a little autistic, he's got the SSRI stare and he reaches for a backpack, people joke and say, run. Similarly, if you see a jalopy pulling up with a bunch of black people in it and they got their pants around the ankles, you're going to run also. And I'm saying the same thing. The difference is, the latter happens much more often. It's much more common.
Jalopy is crazy. Jalopy is wild. I haven't heard that word in a minute. A jalopy sound like one of them cars, them little rinky-dinks like. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Them old school ass cartoon horns? That's what a jalopy, that's what pictures in my head. That's what I think a jalopy sounds like. Anyways, he's right. If you see them damn white autistic kids with the school shooter haircuts and you see them reaching their backpack, you better run. That same person that's running for that is running for them damn Dodge Charger come flying by with the nigga with the shiesties on. They all jump out the car. No, we're fleeing. White flight. I'm gone. Call me Casper the Ghost. I'm disappearing.
So white people should go out of their way to avoid black people when they see them.
Absolutely. They would be wise.
Why?
Because it's a lose-lose proposition. If you're Irina Zarutska and you don't walk the other way, you get stabbed to death and you die. If you're somebody else and you walk on the subway and you stand near a black person or something, maybe it's fine. It's a lose-lose proposition.
There's not much I can say to this in opposition when I know good and well myself and other black friends that I have and black people that I know do the same damn thing. They go out of their way to avoid black people, other black people, and they're good and well black as day. Hello. And if you're unfamiliar about the name he had mentioned in the beginning, he was talking about that white girl that got stabbed in the neck because she was just sitting on the train and a black dude just yeet. It sucks. It sucks. And it's not internalized racism. I don't hate myself for being black. I love my skin color. I love how I look. I love how I am. However, I'm also very realistic with how people look. People who look like me be acting in them streets, acting on public transportation. Crazy.
So no, I think that white people have been beaten into submission, that we're afraid to tell the truth about it. And the truth is that when you go into these major cities like New York or Chicago, I believe she was in North Carolina, there is a menace, which is young, black, adolescent men. They're extremely violent. And we have been told that we have to pretend like they are every other person. We have to be colorblind to that. And we're supposed to go and be in the midst of all this danger. And I think that at this point, it's gotten out of control.
It's gotten out of control, and they got nothing to lose. Them YNs, they have nothing to lose. No father in the home, more often than not. Black community, hello. I can attest to that too. No father in the home. The mama don't give two shits because she too busy working, probably got 2 jobs. So the little niglet out there in the streets running it around, he don't care. Ba 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 ba. I'm shooting it all day, every day. No.
You look at the BLM movement, they said that the reason that black people, are violent, or the reason there's crime, is because of police brutality, or redlining, or all these other things. They said we need to get rid of the police. We need to defund them. And a lot of cities did. A lot of cities like Chicago, for example, the police changed the rules of engagement.
And had no reason to do that when you understand and realize more people get struck by lightning and die than black unarmed men get shot by the cops. How that makes sense? There are more people getting zapped. Rest in peace. That's not even funny. I'm so sorry. There's more people getting zapped. I know somebody who got zapped. He's still alive. Anyways, there's more people getting zapped and dying than black unarmed men are getting shot and killed by the police. It doesn't add up.
They don't chase them. It's not a felony if you steal a certain amount of merchandise. They won't chase them on foot. And now the city's totally up for grabs. And now, whether you're in the Gold Coast or whether you're on the Mag Mile or you're in the worst neighborhoods in the city, you might get shot, you might get mugged, someone might run up on you. And I tell my followers, it is better to be perceived as racist or racist and walk the other way and maybe keep your life than to say, I'm a good anti-racist. I don't mind that this person's making me uncomfortable. Maybe he's looking a little froggy. I'm going to sit down because I'm a good person, and get stabbed, mugged, whatever. And by the way, this is a strategy. They call it the friendly stranger. There's a crew of them. They do this in Chicago. They stand outside bars, black people. They approach strangers. It's a robbery crew, and they pretend to be a friendly stranger, and then they mug them. And stupid white people say, oh, hi, yeah, nice to meet you. You know, they grin, they laugh, they put up with the nonsense.
I've met them. I've met them. And what color? This is gonna be the signal. All this whole video. Who? I see. It's so sad. It sounds crazy to say out loud, but we get it. I see a black man, a homeless man on the street, running, speed walking, not even running a little rude. I will bust a little 1-2, a little like soccer mom jogging, like 1-2, 1-2 to get away real fast, real quick, because I ain't got time for that. I'd rather look. That's so sad. I can't hate them. When I'm low-key doing the same shit. I can't sit here and be upset he's saying this when I'm low-key see a black person on the street and I'm like, let me go ahead and get a little away from him. We do it too. Come on.
Everyone's a product of their environment. And I was reading some stuff about you in the last few days. There was an episode of your podcast where you talked about your father, Bill Fuentes, and how he wouldn't take the family, including you, to certain restaurants because he believed they were associated with African Americans. We would be deciding where to go to eat, he said. What are we going to do for dinner tonight? It was a running joke. Me and my sister would say Applebee's, and my dad would say we would never eat at Applebee's. Not in a million years should you be caught dead, Fuentes said about Applebee's. Go to a different restaurant, a local restaurant. No Applebee's, no Red Lobster. That is commonly known as black fare.
Listen, what Nick's father said, that story Nick is talking about right now, that Piers quoted, that I bet you Piers is about to say is racist. Can't believe he said that. I love Beyonce. I have a tattoo. All her records, it's on the shelf. You just can't, it's out of frame. All her records. In the song Formation, she says, when he asks me so good, I'm going to take his ass to Red Lobster. Because in the black community, Red Lobster, Applebee's, Cheddar's, Chili's, not Logan's, is it Logan's? Yeah, Logan's, all them chains, that was our 5-star.
I grew up thinking Olive Garden and Red Lobster were 5-star fine dining restaurants.
Olive Garden, that was like going out to eat. That was like special occasion. Like Red Lobster and Olive Garden, that was like graduations, birthdays. Like that was pinnacle fine dining in the black community. So much so that Beyonce put it in a song. It's not wrong. Like it's valid. It's there. It's clear as day, especially coming from a black person. That is like it's black fare. Like that is black restaurants. And if you are trying to avoid black people, if you're trying to avoid, it reminds me of the Atlanta brunch spots. There's all these memes going around about like not supporting all the black owned businesses in Atlanta because the restaurants are so loud, rowdy, and ratchet. Just like mimicking the Red Lobsters, the Chili's, maybe not Chili's so much. Red Lobsters, the Olive Gardens, the Logans, especially where like they live in Chicago, especially in the cities and the hoods. It's decrepit. I've heard no lies so far.
I said at the start, Nick, to be clear.
No, it's not an ambush,
Nick,
but
to be clear,
I think
I'm not
understands.
ambushing you. I'm literally reading an anecdote that you revealed on your podcast. It's you that's put it in the public domain.
I know.
I'm simply asking you whether my assessment of that, which is that your father didn't want to take you to certain restaurants because of what you refer to as they were commonly known as black fare, whether that attitude to African Americans in that instance permeated to you. It's a reasonable question.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think everybody knows what that is, but I'll address it. I'll engage with it, and I'll defend my father from the charge of racism.
Sure.
No, my parents are not racist, and they've never been racist. I'll tell you about my parents. They used to have a school in Chicago in the South Loop where they instructed people on how to shoot firearms. It was a security school, and most of the clients were black. And I believe actually one of their clients was Larry Hoover's son at one point, sort of a funny story. And so most of their clients would come in from the South side of Chicago. My grandmother, she grew up in the projects in the city. And so my family being in Chicago, being ethnics, being Italian, Irish, Mexican, and the West Side on Taylor Street, all over the city. My family for many generations have lived near and around black people. And look, my views about black people and their views about black people are shaped with experiences with black people.
I think that makes it so incredibly different too for Nick Fuentes, knowing that he comes from Chicago and this is all his experience. He isn't just like a deranged racist in the middle of Arkansas who's never seen anything, never been anywhere, never experienced anything, and is spewing all this like he feels it from his core. Nick's lived it. He's in it. I've lived it. Obviously, I'm in it. Mr. Piers over here, not so much. And all that was just a failed attempt at trying to label Nick's dad as a racist for not wanting to go to the black restaurants to avoid the black people because he lives in a black community and he understands what goes down at these restaurants. So much so, again, Miss Beyonce put it in a song. That is black culture to go to those restaurants. I did live growing up. That was pinnacle eating out. That was 5-star dining. And even now you go back to it, it's especially in the hood because he's from Chicago, they're ghetto. Run down, ghetto, loud, ratchet. You don't want no part of that. Go ahead and support your little local business or get takeout. I can't be mad at him for saying the shit that I would say myself and that I have said and I have experienced.
No, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple.
Elite. Top, get that man an Oscar. That's the best reel. That's the best clip I have seen. That's top 5 in my entire life. That is just pinnacle comedy, pinnacle realness, and just funny. It's so just like, when I first saw that, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, wait, he kind of ate that. It is very funny. It is very funny, very real.
Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, all of them?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
The ones that commit the crime.
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that, 5%.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you didn't say that.
And his content ain't for your boomer ass. We understood what the man was saying. Blacks need to be in prison for the most part, because guess what? They get let out of jail 10 times. There's black folks on the street, they got 20, 30 felonies. Why? Your ass needs to, come on. You need to be gone. We understood good and well what that man was saying. If you didn't get it because you 63, that's fine. But do know, everybody that follows Nick and under 35, they got the gist. We got it. As a black person, I got it. They need to be in prison for the most part. They do. They're terrorizing the streets. The teen takeovers, the looting, the shooting, the robbing. It's too much. It's too much. Lock them up. Send them away.
You didn't clarify that you were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
Do you think it's funny or?
I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
Do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
Blacks are my biggest fans. I get high fives all the time. They say, Nick Fuentes, I love your show. They agree with me. And you want to know why? Here's the difference.
We see it.
Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago. You should come here. I'll take you there. We could go to Garfield Park.
Run it up, Piers. Nick, let's take them. Nick, let's go. I got family all over the south side. On Sangleman, 83rd, 73rd, like all of it. Let's go. Halsted, let's pack it up. Because that's so real. That is so real. Don't nobody want no part of that. Like I said, it is a trending reel about black people moving out the hood into a white community and them getting mad that another black person moved near them. It is a meme in the black community. So Piers, you can't act ignorant as if like you just can't look up Nick Fuentes' reactions to black people this, black people that, and not see some black people that agree with Nick. That's a funny ass reel. It's real. But don't see what I did there? Funny, real, because it's real. I'm a comedian now.
University for a year, actually, several years ago.
Yeah, that's a bubble. That's a bubble. You think you're in Chicago and Hyde Park? You don't know Chicago. Go a little bit west. See what it's like over there.
I was in Chicago, actually. No, you weren't. Like Donald Trump said, there are two Chicagos. There's touristy and there's getting killed. Chicago's a beautiful city. You can go there and be unscathed for the most part. You can be unscathed. You can go there, have a good time, and take your ass out. You go a few blocks down, you in the wrong town, good luck. But there are definitely bubbles in Chicago. There's great schools, great areas, great neighborhoods, safe, you can walk around, but it's called a bubble. You go to that south side, you go over down there to Inglewood, Garfield, Lawndale, Riverdale, O Block, Piers, would love to see. I don't wish that on nobody. I wouldn't love to see you there, but you talking like you know it, go out there. Go take a little stroll. Go take a little gander. Look around, browse around O Block, browse around Inglewood. Garfield Park. Go have a good time.
Yeah.
Now that I'm the #1 live streamer in America, because people agree with me more than they agree with you, we're tired of hearing about slavery and the Holocaust and Jim Crow. We're done hearing about that. You guys
I'm not done hearing about that.
That's you.
Okay, well, your generation's on the way out, and Generation Z is coming up, and we're finished with that.
Over it. I rest in peace to everybody. I'm sorry it happened. We can learn what went wrong and go on about our day. We have to let it go. This slavery conversation, ain't nobody the damn slave right now. Again, like I said before, we are our ancestors' dream. Move it on. Let's go. We can be successful. We can do whatever we want to do in this country. Holocaust, let it go. Hitler's not here anymore. He's not doing anything anymore. Let it go. If you want to focus on that, focus on it in your own time, in your own community. But don't force everybody and their mama to care about it every 2 seconds. Don't. Same with the slavery conversation. Black folk want to pin every white folk for having your ancestors owned me, owned my ancestors. Even if you want to say your ancestors own my ancestors, you don't even own your own life right now. If you want to play victim card so bad, at least focus on right now. Because like I said, there's a lot of y'all out here who care so much about external things, slavery this, Holocaust this, yada, yada, yada. You don't even care about your own life right now. What are you doing with it? Are you unhappy? Fix it. You're in more control than you realize. You really are. And you're putting all this time and energy into the past, into things that are gone. We have progressed. Focus on the progression and let it go. Let it go. Stop holding on to slavery. Oh. It is gone like the Holocaust. Ain't nobody worried about anymore. Let it go. That's all you have to do. We can't, it's on its way out, like Nick said.
3 sons, and they don't share your views about slavery and about the Holocaust. They can have decency and compassion and humanity about some of the worst things that have happened in the last 150 years or more. They can do that, and they can also have concerned views about issues like immigration and other issues. The two things are not mutually incompatible. You can have different views about different things. It's your lack of humanity and compassion for people about things like the Holocaust, about slavery.
It's the people that abuse compassion and sympathy and empathy. I'm very well, like rest in peace. I'm sorry you have to deal with the Holocaust. I'm sorry you have to deal with slavery. My ancestors, great-great-grandpappies, I'm sorry you got whipped and beat. You owed massive bushels of cotton. Some of y'all went running with Harriet. It's sad, but it led to where we are today. I ain't got nothing to do with that. The white folks around my arm ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all two ain't got nothing to do with that. What do you want me to do? We can't keep holding on to the past. We can acknowledge it, learn from it, but at some point we have to focus on our personal reality. We have to. And when your whole existence is just focused on the past, how do you expect to ever move forward? It's impossible to.
It's that people find so contemptible. And I don't understand why you need to do that. Again, I just ask you, is your motivation financial? Is your motivation for fun? What is the motivation to saying these outlandish things, which you don't need to say, and which I suspect, I don't know, I suspect a lot of it is performative. So what is the motivation?
Why aren't we allowed just to have an opinion and just share it? Why does everything need a motive behind it? Everything needs to be about money, or you're just doing it for clout, or just to be inflammatory, or it's just a real opinion? Are there people that do it for a bag? Yeah. Are there people that fake it? Yeah. But when you know someone's story, my whole story's online. I talk about my past, I talk about my upbringing, how I got to my views today. When Nick talks about his experiences, these are real things and real feelings that we're having. We're allowed to have that, and it's not just to get a bag. For me, you can't find me on TikTok. I'm not really on Twitter. If I wanted a bag, I'd be doing everything under the sun, pumping out content nonstop. Well, I do pump out the YouTube content, but I would be like, there's other things I could do. I would be signed to somewhere. I'm fully independent. Turn down offers a lot. I even turn down sponsorships a lot because it doesn't align with me. It's possible for people just to have an opinion. Why can't you just accept that I think differently than you? You just have to assume it's for a check. No. Are there people out there in the $7,000 club? Yeah, there's people who get checks. They exist. Not here. Not here. And I know for a lot of other people out there, it doesn't as well. And we're allowed to have an opinion. And we shouldn't just keep defaulting and pushing off people and their opinions and just throw it off and just say, oh, you're just saying that just to get paid, or you're just grifting. They're real thoughts, you guys.
I'm an iconoclast. The Holocaust is not my religion, and it is treated like a religion. It is treated like a religion with dogma, with blasphemy laws. And that secular religion says, and you say that's a crock of shit. It's intentional. It's called The Open Society by Karl Popper. It's by these architects of the liberal order after World War II. They got together and they said, how can we make sure that Hitler never happens? How can we make sure that totalitarianism never happens again? And they came up with the consensus, which is that we need to take down nations, religions, fathers, the authoritarian personality. We need to be empathetic and altruistic. We need to be diverse and pluralistic. And that experiment isn't working. And I'll tell you the truth. Right now, and you can laugh at this, you can scoff at this, our people are being genocided in our country. 50% of the live births in the United Kingdom and in the United States are non-white. In 100 years, my ancestors, your kids who are so empathetic and compassionate, they're going to be a minority. They're going to be a minority in maybe a Muslim country, an Indian country, an Hispanic country. And these Jewish people that are 100 years old talking about my grandparents and the Holocaust, they don't care about that.
And to that point, again, I'm like thinking about this and I'm like applying more nuance and context to this exact conversation that's happening at hand. For me, when Nick raises a problem with over 50% of the births in this nation being non-white, the problem that I'm seeing too with that is we already know in this day and age, they're not like most people aren't assimilating. They aren't assimilating into American culture. They aren't assimilating into American culture. They have their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own views, and they wanted to emulate what they want to, not really what we know America to be and the rights that have been afforded to us. I think Nick would feel different. This is just me. I think Nick would feel differently about this if, despite how your race in this country, if you were just American and you preserved American values and you were a good, upstanding citizen and you weren't looting, shooting, robbing, and despite the color, we all had the same traditions and values and morals, it just wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't. But what we do know in the year 2025 is that it's the white folk holding it down, and in large part, the minorities that are really switching things up. And there's a growing amount of talking head figures and commentators who are trying to change that, especially in the minorities, more Hispanic people, Black people, even down to like the gay people, Asians, that are saying like and promoting the views like, hey, we need to promote American ideals and assimilate into that and like really hype that up. That's important because we don't want to lose that, because if we lose that, we lose our country. We don't want the country gone. And that's the main point that I'm getting from this dialogue between Nick and Piers regarding, the birth rate.
There is a belief that you have two personas. There's one that you roll out now for podcasts and for shows like mine, where you come across as reasonable. And then there's your show on Rumble, where you often come across as having, a very unreasonable view on things. This is what Coleman Hughes said about you.
He is consciously playing this double game as part of a long-term strategy to become popular enough to take the reins of power, at which point he plans to pivot towards the extreme and unpopular policies that he advocates daily on Rumble.
So first of all, what is your response to that?
It's clear as day there's two personalities. Like anybody. When I see Nick in these settings, more often than not, I see a more like composed Nick. When I've seen Nick on Rumble, on his show, on his own platform, his own show, he's more relaxed. He's cutting up. His followers get his banter and his like comedic fun, and there's like serious monologues and there's jokes and there's memes. It goes on for so long. They get it. And then they see him in these settings. They get it. I'm a guest on someone's show. Let me have some decorum. If you're going to someone's house for dinner, you're not acting 100% the same as you are at home. If I invite you into my home right now for dinner, you're not going to go sit on my couch, pop your feet up, and like eat a meal on the couch without me even knowing you. When we become friends and family, yeah, you walk in the house, get what you want, go ahead, do what you want to do. But I act a different way in somebody else's home, like everybody else does. There's manners. That's clear. It doesn't have to be that deep. It doesn't.
He is right about the two personas. And I think that everybody understands this on some level. On my show, I make jokes and I use rhetoric and I'm hyperbolic. Because for a long time, I had an audience that was small, on these like dissident platforms. I was on D Live for many years. A lot of people don't even know what that is. And so I had a small following, and we had sort of like an in-group sense of humor and memes and things like that. And you talk about it one way on a freewheeling live stream when I'm by myself and I'm ranting and we make jokes and
it's different.
We play devil's advocate. We play with different positions. But then when you sit down in an interview like this one and people ask me a good faith question, what do you actually believe? Well, then I clarify and I say, well, here I'm not joking. Here I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being rhetorical. I'll tell you precisely what I believe. As far as this idea that I'm going to get power and then turn into Hitler, that just sounds totally insane to me.
And that's reasonable. Again, I get it. I feel like most people get it. When you're on your own platform, when you're cutting up on your home, it's different than you're a guest in somebody else's show. You're the same person to an extent, yeah, but my manners will be a little bit different. If you ask me a good faith question, if you ask me a serious question, I'm going to answer it more seriously. But when I'm on my own YouTube channel, I'm cutting up. My followers know, my supporters know who I am. We know what's up. We know what's good. Ooh, like Nick's been saying it a lot this video, but like we get it. I get it at least.
You try to come across as moderate, but every now and again the mask slips, and it slipped again here with what you say about Hitler. There's nothing very cool about Hitler. We know that from history now. We know what he did. You've already conceded that he murdered at least 6 million Jews. So when you say he's very cool, Jewish people watch this and go, this guy's disgusting. Why would he say this about someone who perpetrated such an evil? And what's the real answer? Why do you? Is it just for clicks? Is it for money? Is it just for fun? For shits and giggles? What is it? What motivates you to say something like Hitler was very cool?
It's for this. It's for all of this. And the lack of self-awareness.
It's literally that. Like watching, again, Piers melt down over Hitler, it's like you're focused on the past. There's a lot more to melt down right now about what's actively happening in our own countries than what someone did really, really bad to another group of people, really, really bad. Not calling them bad, but like, the whole situation's bad. Yeah, we can say that's bad, but like, why are you getting this mad and triggered when your own country is falling apart? It's the hypocrisy. It's like, why are you this upset, this jarred? For what?
This is amazing. You're a boomer. You're a 60-year-old boomer, and we've spent maybe 3 minutes on you saying he's a really fucking monster. He incinerated people. And I'm sitting here saying it's not that serious. It's not that deep. And
not that
and what
serious.
I'm getting at.
Not that serious.
Do you want to say more about?
Well, you're not
he's
a kid.
A monster.
You're not a kid yourself anymore. You're not a teenager.
I know.
Right? You're nearly 30. To be clear,
yeah.
Okay?
We're allowed to say that. Personally, when I hear Nick say it's not that serious, like calm down, what I'm hearing and how I take that is, hey, what he did was really bad. No one's making light of the murders, and no one's making light of like throwing people in sheds and in the gas masks and trains and starving people. No one's making light of that. It's wrong. Like a lot of other things that have been wrong in our past. 1. 2, when I hear it's not that deep, it's like, yes, it's deep in the sense that what happened was bad, but there's so much to focus on right now that should get more attention. You spent all that time ripping and railing against Hitler when Europe is literally falling apart.
Fully formed adult who has a brain, right? And at some stage, that brain is taking you off these rabbit warrens.
Is this an interview or is this a lecture? Can I respond to what you're saying?
I want you to explain why you think it's fine to say how cool Hitler is and to dismiss the very powerful 90 seconds from a British journalist who lost a lot of family members to the Nazis in such a callous, dismissive manner.
I don't think it's powerful. I think we've been hearing that our entire lives, okay? The Schindler's List. Let's just be honest. The propaganda is over the top.
Our entire lives, we have been told, feel bad, feel bad, feel bad. Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. Holocaust, Holocaust, Holocaust. Non-stop. And people are over it. When we have our own things here to worry about, I'm not worried about the damn past. And then for all the people that are saying like, oh, Hitler's cool, and how could they ever say that? You can acknowledge, okay, how about this? Hitler drank water. You drink water. Does that mean you're a Hitler now too? No. You can apply more nuance. You can apply more context to it. Personally, When people say, oh, Hitler's cool or Hitler's this or Hitler's that, they're not talking about the murderous things he's done. They're talking about how he was so charismatic. I told the story before, and I'll say it again, I'm not ashamed of it. Was it freshman year, sophomore year? A psychology class. They said someone dead or gone, dead or alive, who would you love to have a conversation with? And I stood up. I would love to talk to Hitler. Like, I think he's so fascinating to me. Very charismatic, very passionate about his country, very just interesting. Like, a very interesting figure to interview back in the day. I'm not praising the horrible things he did. I'm not trying to minimize him either, but I can at least acknowledge a pivotal point in our history, like you want me to do, and be like, okay, that was interesting. What he felt about this, what he felt about this. And I think what most people find cool now about Hitler is how, especially comparing it to like now 2025, how unapologetically Hitler was proud. When for so long, especially nowadays, we're telling white people to not be proud. Feel bad, feel bad, feel bad. Black people this, Jews this, gays this, women this, nonstop. And it seems like when we look back, like Hitler's the only person that's just like stood up and was like, you know what, F this. He did it in a horrible way. I'm just giving you context as to why we see so many Gen Z memes about Hitler. People dapping him up, talking to him, it's clear. I see it. I understand it. I know when someone's talking about Hitler and they either say he's cool or they're looking into his history or they don't really care about the Holocaust or they're over it, they're not talking about the lives gone. They're not talking about all the harm that was done to those people. What they're talking about is, instead of focusing on someone's great grandpappy or grandpa that is alive that went through the Holocaust, that's very sad. I can't be Captain Save-A-Ho for the whole world. I can't be empathetic for everybody on this damn planet when I got shit to worry about in my own country and in my own home, okay? We got things to worry about here. So when people have this mindset about Hitler and they don't really care and yada yada, or they think it's cool, I see what they're talking about. I do. I see the nuance in it. I see exactly what they're referring to, what they thought was cool. Not his whole personality, not everything that he did, not praising him, but saying, hey, I think it's cool that Hitler raised an army of soldiers and had a team so powerful and so good that we took them. Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip.
The United States willingly brought more than 1,600 former Nazi scientists into the country.
America thought Hitler was cool. America thought that man was such a G. His team was amazing. We took him in. Come on, hello? But all in all, the interview that we just went through with Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan, very insightful, very interesting to see the way Piers acted throughout the interview and what Nick had to say. And I hope that I added a little bit of nuance and context to the situation at hand. And maybe you guys got to see or hear these things from a different perspective. Because truth be told, there's a lot of things that I agree with Nick on, and there are some things I don't disagree with him on. I'll try to find and piece together the clips to make a video like that happen on what I disagree with him on, but he be hitting. Nick be hitting. He be hitting them points, and I can't knock him for it. I can't. But I thought this would be a great video to make, and so I'm glad if you're still here. Thank you for your time watching this video, supporting the channel. Subscribe if you like this type of content. If you like my commentary, going through this video, outlining it, giving more context to the situation, go ahead and give me a subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. And especially if you're new here, no matter what you're going through in your life right now, it's called going through for a reason. You're not stuck there. You will survive. It doesn't matter. Friendship drama, family drama, life drama, work. It doesn't matter. Anything that has been put in front of you, then a problem that you're going through right now, it's a season that will pass. But you have to lock in and you have to take care of yourself. You really do. But regardless, let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know your thoughts on what you thought about this debate. Nick Fuentes, Piers Morgan. Did you agree with anything? Disagree with anything? Let me know. Let's start some conversation. And again, thank you for your time watching this video. Like, subscribing, sharing means a ton. And I will catch you in the next video. Deuces.